So, hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. So, today I thought it would be nice to talk about my work. Maybe you already know from some of my previous videos that I work in a psychiatry in a mental illness hospital, and I was thinking it would be nice to share with you a normal day, what I actually do in there, and how the work in a psychiatry is like. So without further ado, let's jump right into it! Alright, so I'm working in Germany in a psychiatry. I'm actually doing a free voluntary year, which is something that we have here. And I'm working as a nurse, so kind of like I'm doing the jobs that a nurse is doing in the psychiatry. And we have six different stations. About my working hours, I work 8.5 hours, I think, a day. And it's not that I have fixed hours like in many other jobs, because it's a hospital, so of course you have to be there. Someone has to be there the whole day, the whole night, on every weekend, on holidays, on Christmas, on whatever. So I have every day my working time can change, and sometimes I work on the weekends, sometimes I work on holidays. So this year I will be working on Christmas, but I will have free on New Year's Eve. And yeah, so it depends. Sometimes I finish work at 3 o'clock, sometimes I finish work at 9:30 p.m, so in the evening. It depends on which time I have my work on that day. Well, now what do I do? So it depends, of course, on the day I'm working, because on different day there are different things for the patients. Normally in the morning the doctors, the psychologists are on our station, and then they visit them, they talk with them, they check in with them, and we always, one of the nurses is with them and writes everything down the patient says or we notice about them. Then it's lunchtime, and most of the patients can eat their lunch themselves, but sometimes we have some patients that maybe they are really old, they have dementia, I think is the name in English, so they forget things, or maybe they have Parkinson's, so they are not able to eat themselves. Some are maybe not even able to get out of their bed, maybe they have a really bad psychosis and they get strong medication, so they are so sedated and tired, let's put it that way, that they are not able to get out of bed, to eat themselves. So then we do their meals for them, we bring them to bed, and we help them eating or drinking, or we have to look after some patients if they actually eat. For example, if a patient has a psychosis, we have a patient like that, and the psychosis is about eating too. They feel guilty when they eat. We have to look after them and make sure they eat and they drink enough, and then we write it down in lists we have for that. Furthermore, it's always at least 2 people that are on one station. Sometimes we are 3. On bigger station there's more people, of course, because there's more patients. So we are always on the station. The doctors are just there for some for visiting the patients, for some talks we have to take or to make with them, or if we have some concerns about someone's health, even if it's mentally or physically, if we think they might need some other medication, because most of the patients in a psychiatry, they get really strong medication, and you have to look after them and be careful, because that may go wrong, or you notice a difference and you notice, oh, that's not working for them. And yeah, we have to walk around, look after the patients. We have to write down 3 times a day, in the morning, after lunch, and in the evening, what we noticed about every patient. So we have their like folders, and we write down every little thing we noticed, like he's laying a lot in bed, he became visit from his mom, he said some psychotic thoughts like blah blah blah. He was eating well, he was nice, blah. We have to write everything down exactly. Then we have different times where we have to give out medication to every patient. This is what we are looking for, and we have to look for certain special things. So for many patients we have to measure their blood pressure, their heart rate, and some need insulin, so we have to look after the blood. And yes, so that's what we mostly do. Furthermore, it always depends on the patient you have. So we have some patients that are allowed to leave the station, so they ask us if they can go out, and then we open the door for them and they can go. Because the door's closed, of course, because we have patients that are dangerous to themselves or to other people, or they are forgetting a lot, so they cannot leave the station because they have to be secured. Sometimes we have patients that are only allowed to go out with one of us nurses, so they ask us, and if we have like a little bit of time and most of the work on the computer and with medication and the paper sheet is done, then we take some time and we go out with them, we talk with them and see how they are doing. Yes. Then sometimes we have, like I'm already told, patients that can leave their beds, that are really old or they can't move. So of course we have to take special care of them. We have to wash them, we have to take them to the toilets. Some are wearing like pants, special pants where they shit in or anything like that, so we have to clean that, change that, clean clothes of some patients of course too. Some we have to massage or cream their skin because it's really dry. And yeah, so that's like when we are having intense patients, they take a lot of taking care, and because some may fall out of bed a lot, so for some patients we have sheets and we have to look after like patient A every 30 minutes and then write down where they are, what they are doing. Or for some patients even every 15 minutes we have to look after them and write down chronologically where they were at that point of time, because they are so dangerous, so we have to look after them. Because some psychotic or suicidal people or aggressive people, it's important to maintain contact constantly with them, because they can change mood from one minute to another minute and make some things that you don't want to happen to them. Yeah, we are not doctors or psychologists, of course, but for me, I love being a nurse in psychiatry because you are all the time on one station with your patients. You are with them sometimes from morning to night, sometimes 9 days in a row. You see them the whole day. You know more about them than most of the doctors because you are talking with them all the time. And I love it. I love to be able to maintain that contact with them. And because I'm doing a voluntary for a year, I'm able to go to some of the therapies too when we have like not a lot to do, like yes, so I can go to depression therapy, psychotic therapy, or I was participating in therapy for alcoholics and drug abusers. It was really interesting for me. So all of those therapies, they are in our house, of course. Because it's a psychiatry, it's closed. People that are there, they are living there, they are sleeping there, eating there. And yeah, what else? The last thing we do is when new patients come, when they go, we clean their rooms, their beds. We have to do all of that too. So yes, it's a lot we do. It's a lot of fun for me. I learn a lot. We are doing almost everything. We are a person for everything. And this is what I personally love about my job. It's a great experience. I would recommend it to everyone to do that one time in their life. It really helped me a lot, and I grew a lot with that job and that experience. Sometimes, of course, it's hard and we face some hard things in station, like when someone dies, or someone is getting aggressive against you and you have to fixate them on the beds. But for me, I knew that this is a part of the job and I still love it. And yeah, that's all I have to say about my day working in psychiatry. I hope you have a little insight now, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my new videos. If you have any more questions about working in psychiatry, about my job, about my experience, you can just leave a comment. I would love to answer them. And yeah, I wish you all an amazing day. Be happy and be safe. Bye!